I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Happy summer, people! Time for barbecue, swim parties, and figuring out which friends not to invite next year. Oh, I have a list. 4th of July this year, 2023, happened to be the hottest recorded average for the entire planet Earth since we started keeping records. The UK had the hottest June since ever. Brits were heard to exclaim, "My word, I believe my knickknacks are stuck to my gobbly wobblers." Or something very Britishy like that. Listen, people, what does this mean? Well, it means that it's pretty undeniable that the planet is warming up.
This fire is moving extremely quickly. It's very dynamic.
Proof is everywhere. Weather is insane, and species are dying off. And if we don't do anything, studies are showing that one third of all species, one-third of all species will be gone in 50 years. So if you have a kid, it's going to see a mass extinction. You'll have to explain that Kermit was a frog, and we don't have those anymore.
Okay, cut. All right, I've had it. Let's
You dumb motherfuckers. Today's word is extinct. And it's already happening. I got flipped off by a bee while grilling chicken this week. Look, I'm always kind of stunned when people deny climate change. I mean, we've had harsher, more extreme weather, floods, drought, record snow. It's pretty obvious. And it's proven by science. You know, that thing that morons deny. Get that science, Lloyd. And they say brilliant things like, yeah, man, if science is right, why does it always change? Huh? Answer me that. Well, because genius science is the pursuit and application of knowledge and understanding of the natural and social world, following a systematic methodology based on evidence. So we're always finding out new things based on new knowledge that we look for. Science! That's science. Yeah, but that ain't what I believe. If the climate is changing, how come there's still snow? Ha ha ha! Okay, well, we had record snow in California that killed a 100-year drought in 1 year. That's climate change. So we know it exists. We know it's real. We know the oceans are rising. Miami floods at high tide. Texas hit 116 degrees in June. And in February, New York got down to minus 36 degrees, minus 51 with wind chills. So to you people who don't want to face the fact that not only are we facing an apocalypse of extreme everything, if you can't face that your house might get picked up and moved randomly or flooded or burnt or crushed under snow load, this is our house up in the Sierras this year. This is what happened. So you anti-science geniuses can deny it all the way up to the day you realize that you are starving because due to drought, there's no food. You're living on the street because your house was destroyed by one of the tornadoes that rip through town on the daily, and so many species have now died that you are food for the few apex predators that have survived. But you won't have to worry about any of that because you're in the middle of fighting in the current war over what little drinking water is left. So, keep doing nothing. Climate change won't get you. Not in America. No, in America, you're going to die of a mass shooting while getting groceries long before the planet kills you. So, you know, glass half full. We're going to die. We're all going to die. And nobody seems to give a shit. Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. How are you guys doing today? I hope you had a great 4th of July with me as always. The lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up?
Unzi Highlander.
There could be only one.
Wow, it's getting a little
Let's redo that. 'Cause I don't feel like I'm not for Ron DeSantis.
Why are they Nazis? We had a great 4th of July party. It was great. I drank way too much wine. My head hurts down to my shoulders.
Oh, that's why you're grumpy today. I was
That's
like, why
why.
is he?
You don't have wine on 4th of July. You gotta go cheap
I
ass
don't-
beer.
No. I do horrible. Any other alcohol, I can't function. I can't function.
Oh,
I think
that's
during
good.
we lost mom, drinking hard liquor made me burn something out of me. Because if I have a shot of anything now, and the next day it's like someone has driven a nail into my skull.
Yeah.
Wine just makes me
That's
feel
good.
I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Man, I'm a little sad.
I'm a little
Man,
hangover.
Why am I having anxiety and stuff?
That's
So,
you today.
I'm done.
That's definitely
I am,
you.
but I've been whiny today. So we had friends over. It was fun. Hope you guys had a good 4th of July. We had a lot of weird stuff happen. As I'm writing the Armageddon update, because it's Wednesday now, so I panicked. I panic mode, and I'm hungover, so I get up and I start pounding it out. News is on, and did you know that the hottest? I said in Armageddon, the hottest planet average temperature since recorded history, we hit it on 4th of July. That means everywhere where it's supposed to be cold.
Overall,
it
is
wasn't.
that an overall average?
The entire planet.
And we've been measuring since
In 1884.
ancient Egypt. How long?
I think this is like science and the measuring stuff. Thanks for tuning into the Science Podcast.
What just happened?
The thermometers. We had
there's hieroglyphics of them. It's fucking hot.
Just
bring to the sun.
Exactly. Here's the thing. I think people have this thing because nothing's really happened yet, where they don't want to face that we need to get better at this because, things are happening, by the way. Crazy tornadoes. Hurricanes are lining up, man. I just say like they're in line at Disneyland. Just like, all right, let's go. Like the hurricane. And we had the earliest hurricane season. We had more snow than we've ever had. So we had drought. We had all the reservoirs were dangerously low. They were going to turn off power. And then we have 1 year where we have so much snow that everything's full again. And people go, well, see, it's working. I go, no, that's not how it's supposed to work. It's not supposed to go, oh my God, we're dying. Yay. Oh, hey. And then our house got crushed by the snow load. Did you see in Tahoe? People literally had their entire houses covered. They had to dig holes from the top of the snow. There was residential gone.
Yeah. And they don't normally have to do that.
I will say when I talked to the insurance adjuster, because I just made a claim on the cabin, she said that they've had a record number of claims, and she made some sort of joke like, oh, well, turns out if people deny climate change, it doesn't matter. It keeps happening and it keeps getting worse. And she said there's a lot of inter-office banter about what next year will be like, how bad. She said crazy things like even the people that had roofs in Bear Valley that were more slanted in metal because they were thinking ahead to snow load, it would just slide off. She said it happened so fast that it froze and came rapidly down off their roof in a sheet or a block of ice and took their chimney off. She said we had multiple claims of that.
So it froze.
It's like a new ice age up there.
Yeah.
But it was actually it was heavy enough snow. It was so wet that when it froze, I just can't imagine. Took the chimney off. My God.
Oh yeah, it's it's heavy.
But not even that. Texas is 118. Texas was. They said that. Okay, Saudi Arabia. Texas was as hot as Saudi Arabia. That's not okay.
Well, they have the same politics too. So that kind of matches.
That's what Ray said this morning. I was talking about that. And she goes, it's not political if we're all gonna die. If a third of the species are going to die out in 50 years, do you think that's insane? Imagine like a third of known species will die in the next 50 years unless we do something. And the thing is that nobody's willing to do anything. We have solar now. We have electric cars. We're trying. We still live like we live. We're not exactly.
The point you made about that people aren't really equating it, they're not recognizing it because it's not impacting them directly, even when it is.
Yeah, right.
Impacting them
just
directly,
a flood. We've
literally impacting them.
We've always had floods. We've always had this.
It's easy to kind of dismiss it, and especially when there's all the doubt that's officially doubt is cast from the oil companies and the coal industries.
Oil companies actually they formed a scientific group to deny climate change.
Yes.
Yeah, remember that paper came out?
Mm-hmm.
So what I don't understand is I was listening to something, there was 5 in this one part of the South. They've had 500-year floods in 7 years. That doesn't make.
We have to change the definition.
We just flooded.
It's again. The 7-year flood. Holy shit!
But they've had 5. And I'm not look man. Trust me. I wish I could. I wish I could drive a top fuel car. I wish I could have any and everything I wanted. I wish.
I can't believe Top Fuel is still going on, and I know that we love it.
Yeah.
Yay! But
You don't go to the drag races?
hey, I used to when we were dating. I was like,
And now-
I love the
Like
drag
that
races.
smell.
Just like
End of
him.
humanity.
Just like him. I love it. And then we got
Oh,
married,
I
and she's
can't
like, "I'm
wait.
out." It worked.
It's just not. It's not just. It's fine. I find it very interesting, and we had fun there, and we love Tony Schumacher, but I just can't fathom that that's happening. You know, like
There's literally a hole in the ozone directly above every racetrack. Every
yeah.
drag. So
and
there's just
in
a
the
giant.
lungs of all of the crew chiefs that are
Mhm.
standing on the line right behind the
Well, the good
car.
news is they started doing electric class, but the problem is drag racing is all about the noise. And you go, all right, and they're gonna run. And he won.
That would be
You
sweet.
can fake
though.
it. Just fake it. Speakers. Just bring back the old.
They're doing it. Chrysler's coming out with a Dodge Charger EV, and it's really cool
Yeah,
looking.
it does.
Yeah.
But it's goofy because it's supposed to be faster than the Hellcat.
Mhm.
It's cooler looking. It's got a instead of a rear spoiler, it's got a front wing on it that looks like the grill. It looks
Yeah.
like the old Charger grill,
Yeah.
but it's actually a hole to keep it on the. By the way, my hand
Keep it on
was
the
making
ground.
me did.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say about it?
I don't-
they
sound.
added a they
You can
added
add
a
it, right?
they added a electronic speaker under
Yes.
it.
Cool.
To make the sound.
Couldn't
But
you
it-
could customize it.
But it's well,
Like, I want a jet engine. I want to put a motherfucking. I want the
sound like-
Batmobile
It
sound.
should sound like a tank. Just a.
And when it shut it off, it's like the Millennium Falcon.
What is it
would be
about
kinda
that
cool,
sound?
right?
Because even I have that. Like my last gas car that I had,
Yeah.
I would start it and it in the garage it would go boom. And I
I
was
think it's
like,
very earthy.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah, it's powerful.
yeah, it's like an earthquake, or it's like there's something.
I don't-
something that
I don't-
connects with
I would think
us.
it was
I
weird
don't
that you.
feel
I-
powerfully excited about earthquakes. I'm not like, yeah, that is bad. What are you
But,
talking about?
No,
It's
because
like
I think
an
it
earthquake.
triggers some kind of like an emotional response. Like, ooh, there's a little bit of danger here.
What?
I like this.
I think she had vibrating seats too.
Oh, maybe that was it.
I had
like-
back massagers in that car. That was sweet.
She's still in the garage. Are we leaving? 1 minute.
I'm testing the back massage.
So I don't. And so we've talked about climate change before. What bothers me is that we are not. It's obviously happening. I mean, how many times this year did we see news report after news report? Fires, severe drought.
Mhm.
And intense snow and rain. And I just wish. I still. It's not political, guys. We are. Your kids aren't gonna. You're gonna have to explain animals to your kids. Your grandkids aren't going to have a third of the species to, it's just weird.
I think once the other species go, we're going to. We're all going to go at the same time.
Well, bees, frogs.
Turns out if we lose bees,
Yeah.
we're all going to die,
Yeah.
They die
anyway.
anyway. Yeah,
so-
nothing gets,
And then I said, well, I just want to raise bees. And a bunch of you guys wrote me emails saying you shouldn't do that either because you'll ruin the bee population. Because I'm an idiot.
Why would we
apparently.
ruin the bee population by raising bees?
Apparently, you need to know what you're doing because you could help propagate some sort of bee illness.
Bee disease, really? Bee malaria?
I don't know, like influenza. for
Hepatitis B.
bees or-
Hepatitis B. There you go. No, I was looking for it.
I was waiting.
I was looking for
I
it.
was like, if I just keep waiting, he'll have one.
I'll
Now
start
it's
like, should we do it? Nah.
hepatitis B. I guess you can make it worse, but I would. Oh my gosh, you are not feeling well today.
Well,
that made me
I
laugh
came
that
up with a
hard.
bad one.
Okay, go ahead.
No, that I knew I was laughing because I knew he was going to do that.
Herpes. Herpes.
Herpes.
Wow.
Okay, what you got?
I got nothing.
Okay.
HIB.
There you go.
I got nothing. HIB.
As I said, I had nothing. My brain was like, "Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, hey,
get in
the
You got
game."
something."
Okay.
Or dumb.
So the world could face. This is going to be record
what-
temperatures in 2023 and 2024,
El Niño's
fueled by
coming in
climate
too.
change because of El Nino
Nino.
coming back.
We're gonna have supposedly they don't know, but they think it's more than likely that we have another crazy weather year here.
I thought we were supposed to rename them every year.
What?
We El Nino, wasn't it?
There's
those
La
are
Nina
no, La
and
Nina-
those
El
are-
Nino.
There's a La Nina and there's a El Nino.
okay. Oh, those are storms that we
It's
hurricanes. Which
it's
one part of climate change do we rename?
So
it's-
we've been in 3 years of La Nina
right.
weather pattern in the Pacific Ocean. It
And-
generally lowers global temperature slightly. The El Nino, the warmer counterpart, he has winds blowing west along the equator. Those slow down and warm water is pushed east, creating warmer surface ocean temperatures.
Now, what's going to happen in the Pacific? I wonder what we're going to. I wonder if we're going to get like a crazy.
Those are the Pinta and the Santa Maria.
No,
those are
my
those.
God.
See,
those
we've
are-
encouraged him, and now
Those are
Those
the pilgrims came over on the Nina
Oh
and
my
the
No,
Pinta
those were
gosh.
storms. They stormed the beach.
of
That's
Normandy,
why-
right? So this happened in Normandy. So El Nino is going
this
to
was
ruin
in
Normandy,
Yes.
no, and it was
World War II.
right?
No,
I watched
it was
during-
the
Right.
Mayflower. It was the
Right.
Mayflower. No, both of you.
Ryan Reynolds also was in that movie, I think.
The Mayflower.
The storm in the beach at Normandy with La Nina.
My grandfather died on the beach at Normandy. Since we're doing word association,
What?
we got a
You always tell
letter.
me we don't really have anything going on the
My
podcast. What
dad
happened?
had
We just
friends-
made up a bunch
It
of
was
stuff
Mad
that
Libs
made
all
no.
day today.
It was Mad Libs.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
but we're
because
gonna
we've
have-
been busy. We've had a lot of family surprises happen.
We're gonna have. Oh my God!
We've had family
and we're gonna
visit,
have a guest. We're gonna have a
special guest. Yeah,
I think we're gonna have who we call her the. I guess she's the matriarch of the Titus clan,
she is the woman, the myth, the legend.
and
Where
Kathy
is
will be
she?
coming out in a minute.
We're gonna bring her.
There can
out.
be only one.
There
Yeah,
is
there can be-
only one,
Yeah, Aunt Kathy.
and no one can compete with Aunt Kathy.
No,
But everybody's heard about Aunt Kathy forever because of her purple drink.
which we had. Oh my God, people. So let me explain about Aunt Kathy's purple drink. So I'm at grilling. Me and CJ were out grilling steak and chicken, and Mahogany comes out. One of our friends goes, "Hey, you better get in there. The purple drink, there's not much left." And Kathy goes, "Oh, I don't even have. I can't even make anymore." People literally turned and went to the house to get purple drink.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Bay got going. Bay was like, boom, boom, boom.
As people walked in, they were like, "Oh my God, is that the purple drink?" So everything else we had to drink didn't get touched.
Right.
It's all still in the fridge. The purple drink. That's what everyone drank.
She made a like a thing of it.
I gave her a 3-gallon thing.
Yeah,
to
it's a
put it
3-gallon.
in.
The kids call that scissor, right? Isn't that
Scissor.
It
No.
was-
Aunt Kathy invented scissor?
Oh my God.
we
What did you do yesterday? Because you're a little weird
Nothing.
today too.
Nothing. I did cleaning. I
Okay.
did dumb domestic things.
Okay.
That's it.
Did you have your son?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do?
He's 13, so he played video games
Okay. Stunk.
and argued with me when I forced him to help me with the chores.
Oh,
So,
you're entering.
it was a
that
lot of-
era now.
How does he argue with you? I can't even imagine arguing with my dad about the chores.
It's a subtle, he's just kind of like,
Enemy.
yeah.
Huh.
Right now? Yeah, now. All right, right. I'm in the middle of this. I'm going to die. I'm like, you're going to fucking die by me. If you
There
do-
you go. That's the dad I want to hear. That's it.
I'll give you something to die about.
Okay, so climate change could be irreversible. Scientists are saying by 2030.
Yeah, we're close. That's a couple of years.
Without change, the world's coral reefs would be completely eradicated. We would see an increase in widespread flooding, extreme heat, drought, and poverty. Greenhouse gas levels are at an all-time high, which is causing temperature to rise.
So we've done nothing. We've been hearing about this for 30 years,
And
we've
we've just
done
been making-
absolutely
well,
nothing.
we are now doing something. All electric vehicles
Yeah,
by a set date.
but they're fighting all that stuff.
I
They're
know.
fighting,
Because the burning of fossil fuels, emissions from transport, and the environmental impact of intensive farming have all contributed to record levels. I think it's like 480 parts per million now. Not like pre-industrial, it was 220 or
Yeah.
something.
We brought this up before. There was a woman. Go ahead, keep going.
Yes, more than 1 million species face extinction, like you said. We're currently losing up to 10,000 times the normal rate. That means that dozens of species currently go extinct every day. I was just looking up which ones those are. Hopefully not Yorkies.
Yorkies will be on forever.
Climate change also has side effects like causing a refugee crisis because global temperatures are increasing. Up to 200 million people could be displaced by climate change by 2050. That's the UN estimation. Oceans are dying. Irreparable damage.
You mean the thing that keeps us alive? You mean the thing that kind of keeps us alive and takes all the heat from the...
Unless you go deep. Don't go deep
don't
into
go
it.
Deep, yeah, don't. No.
And if you do, don't build it from carbon fiber.
Oh my God. So it's and I am a hot rod guy. I am just when you start to hear all this, you go, wait. So we're gonna not be able to grow food. We're not gonna have drinking water. Species are gonna die out. Species that and the oceans are dying. Then we die. That's what people don't get. Yeah, what's gonna happen? We're all gonna die. That's what's gonna happen. I just don't get it. All right.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, you can go
just
and
wise
look,
up.
But already the Wyoming toad, the Hawaiian crow, the black softshell turtle. I mean, you can go and look at recent. You can kind of see how much faster it has sped up.
But here's the thing.
Unless you don't want to be terrified.
Even when you said it, though, I don't go, oh my God, we got to. It doesn't make me step up and go, we need to.
The what toad?
The what turtle?
Fuck that toad. We don't need it.
You know what? That toad needed to man up, is what that toad needed to do. Some weak ass toad. Yeah, but so you know what it needs to be? Like if climate change was killing Yorkies instantly, everybody's and that's what I'm saying is like there will be, I think we'll be gone. I mean, in 50 years we'll be on the edge of gone anyway. And the next 2 generations are effed. They are effed unless they're conscientious.
We've said this before, but we cannot live without bees. The Department of Agriculture estimates that pollinators like bees and butterflies help pollinate approximately 75% of flowering plants, which would mean things we need to eat. They flower first, then they produce fruit, then the squirrels eat them.
What's their status now? Do we have we need a daily monitor of the bee population?
We should just do a counter on that thing.
Like the smoking billboards. We should change that to bees.
In Europe alone, 84% of the 264 crop species and 4,000 plant varieties exist thanks to pollination by bees. People are unsure if he said this, but it's been attributed to Albert Einstein. If the bee disappears off the face of the earth, man would have 4 years left to live.
Yeah, no food. No food. We'll kill each other. We'll start wars. Will start over food. The food we've stored. But this is what people that scares me. The turtle thing, not so much. That makes me go 4 years. We got 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
2030. What's the 2030 target? That's when we die.
If we don't do anything, 2030 is when it's irreversible. So I've said this before. Well, here's why. So ice sheets reflect the light. So it's the heat, right? Once those ice sheets melt, the ocean is dark. So the ocean absorbs all the heat. So the ocean absorbs the heat, which makes it warmer, which melts the ice. So now it's this loop that will never stop. It will never stop. Now, there was a weird thing. Look this up. I
gotta go.
I'm done. There was someone who wanted to put up, they were considering putting up giant panels to block the sun. Put this in.
Who came up with that? The panel industry?
It was the Yuki. The giant, the sunbug, the umbrella people. They're like, you know what? It flipped. Why didn't you flew over at Europe?
Climate change solved. We're waiting.
Do you look it up? You're looking at shoes right now, aren't you?
No,
we're waiting to die. Can you hurry?
I'm looking at.
We got 4 years.
What do you want me to look up? I'm looking up. NASA has a website called climate.nasa.gov, and you can go and look at evidence of climate change. Look at the effects of climate. Okay, well, all right, Bubba.
Is that Fauci?
I'm not here telling people that they're just wake up, fuck. Yeah. I mean, it's time. We had 100 and something years of an industrial revolution that gave us so much stuff. We are now smarter. We have solar. So we have solar on our house now. I'm stunned at how fast it works.
Yeah.
And how much it works. I'm stunned. And if that keeps going better, what people also don't get is if you face climate change, we go geothermal, we go solar, the millions of jobs.
Yeah.
And would you want to be in a coal mine digging out coal? Or do you want to be drilling oil? Or do you want to be putting solar panels on the roof and the fresh air? Like it doesn't make any sense. Musk is proving it in Australia. He's built these giant battery farms, that solar farms that with storage batteries. They go on in a microsecond if they have outages. They had outages in Australia all the time in this area that Musk, and he put it in there. And I just don't get. It's not we have the technology, but when you have money that has all this money, and listen, if you and I made hundreds of billions of dollars selling gas, are we going to vote for solar?
Yeah, but the funny thing is that we're so stupid because you can clearly, literally see that coal is fucking dirty.
Yeah,
and so is oil.
Not
Yeah.
if you use clean coal.
Yeah, clean coal. That jumps
clean
at
coal.
it.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
use clean
Right.
coal.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why we don't
clean coal.
use that.
Yeah.
That's why they sat around in a room and they were like, people are starting to uprise about this whole fossil fuels coal thing. What if we call it clean coal? And they were like, meeting adjourned.
The only clean coal I know is a diamond, and
Yeah.
it's really expensive. We can't burn it. That's you
have to make that from dirty coal.
Yeah. What does start as
The
dirty coal.
last 10 years were the oceans. A lot of this warming is happening in the ocean first. The last 10 years were the ocean's warmest decades since the 1800s. 2022 was the ocean's warmest recorded year with the highest global sea level, because that's the other thing. It gets hot, it expands, sea levels rise. Not
Miami, I said that in Armageddon, that Miami actually floods just at high tide now.
well,
Comes
New
up- it
Orleans
comes up.
too.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but New Orleans, listen, French built New Orleans. New Orleans was a giant mistake. It's 13 feet below sea level. You guys are morons.
I don't live
Yeah,
there
yeah,
anymore,
it's-
so.
No, I'm not you, the French.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So carbon dioxide, our global temperature is highest than ever recorded. Methane gas, ocean warming, ice sheets, like you said, sea level rises, and Arctic sea ice.
So
and-
thanks for tuning into the last Titus Podcast.
If you want to go see, NASA has done shots of the Earth from space, and you can look at the two compared and see the ice sheets shrinking.
it's ugly. Can I say something too? The one thing that America is great at, before we got divided so far, we've always been great when a big giant crisis comes along, 9/11, that if we all get behind it, it gets cured pretty fast. Do you guys remember at the beginning of COVID when everybody stopped driving? Did you see the difference? They were
Yes,
doing
yeah.
error readings,
Yeah.
and they were doing, and everything started to heal like in 6 months. That's when they always say that. Well, when Yosemite burnt down, they were like, "Oh, it's never going to come back. It's going to take 200 years." 3 years
Yeah,
later,
right.
bink, everything.
That's a good point.
So we could heal it, but we'd all have to team up, man. And it would take, it would honestly take if we just went crazy for 5 years and just everyone got dead serious about it. But again, the money that's available in putting solar on every house. And again, I had this fear when we were putting it on, because people could say, solar don't work, man. What happens when the sun's not shining? Well, yeah, that's why it's called solar. But yeah, wind farms, all this stuff, it works. It just works. And Europe,
I thought they caused cancer.
no, the wind
Windmills
windmill
Causes
cancer,
cancer.
and the bird thing, and the bird kills kills millions of birds. What?
If you want to do what you can to help the planet, you should try ButcherBox.
Yay!
This episode is brought to you by ButcherBox. Gave it to my dad for Father's Day.
Super happy.
My dad was actually unnaturally excited about meat. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but he was. I picked his meat for him because you can pick your box, or
I don't even like where this is
And-
going, but or
or
maybe I do. Maybe
you
I
can select from, I will just ignore them, from their already curated boxes. And I got him, you can choose how much you want, the frequency, I think it's like 4, 6, or 8 weeks. And I picked and I sent it to him. And it was like, I had sent him gold. He has I've never seen him so animated before. And then I went and visited him last week. And he picked what was going in his next box. And he was like, I can pick all of this. And I was like, yeah, welcome. Welcome to ButcherBox and the future. But what I was saying was, it gets delivered to you all in one box. You pick what you might want to eat over that next period of time. And then you're not driving back and forth to the gas station. Well, that too. To the grocery store.
Right.
Over and over again. And you don't have to leave your house, which is a big perk. I also was surprised to hear my dad say the same thing that we've said, is the quality.
Yeah.
He
There is a definite difference in taste. Yes.
Yeah, my dad, I think he's a meat aficionado, and he said it tastes different. It tastes better. He's been buying his bacon at Costco forever. He's now had ButcherBox nitrate-free bacon, and he was like, it just tastes better. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, Costco bacon has coal and oil in it.
It's not clean
That's why
coal
it's
either.
not clean.
No, it doesn't. He's just kidding.
I am hungover, by the way.
What does that have to do with anything?
'Cause he's
You're laughing
he's
at
filling
his
in.
dumb stuff.
No, he's filling in because I'm not saying anything.
Free shipping. You always get free shipping. You get it's so many different choices. Go to the website. It's like being in a candy store. Drag and drop. There are so many. There's cuts I've never heard of before, which makes you try things you've never had before. So now you have different recipes.
And then they have like surprise stuff. You got to check the website out because sometimes they have cool surprise stuff, you know?
Yes, that comes quickly and goes quickly. Like lobster, they have scallops sometimes.
Scallops?
Mm-hmm.
Hurry up because they're going to be gone.
It's humanely raised meat, no antibiotics or added hormones, 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork that's raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. That's why it tastes better. It's just a higher quality product. And they're giving you a special deal. If you haven't tried it, why not? Try
What's
it now.
What's the deal, pray tell?
Sign up today at butcherbox.com/Titus. Use promo code Titus. Oh man, this is a good deal. You get New York strips for an entire year for free, plus $20 off your first order.
With your subscription.
Yep, that's butcherbox.com/Titus. Use promo code Titus to claim this deal when you sign up. My dad got free hamburger, 2 pounds of hamburger.
Well, he's got to be happy with that. Will
he tried to put it in the box, and I was like, "Whoa, you're already getting that for free?" My dad was like, "What?" So go to butcherbox.com/Titus.
I was talking to someone we at a party the other day when they were talking about
use
all
your
our
words,
products.
You're like,
I was talking about our party about all the products that we have on the podcast and how we don't advertise for things we don't use.
Correct.
And
yes.
And CJ said, he goes, then that means that people know you're not lying. I go,
and then
exactly.
they know they can try it and trust it.
Yes.
My dad called me yesterday specifically to tell me he was about to grill pork chops.
Nice.
He's very excited. That's all I'm saying.
I love that.
Did you guys grill up your ButcherBox stuff for the party?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes, the chicken
we
was
had
awesome.
Chicken and salmon.
Yeah. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do. Again, it's been proven over and over. Listen, the last thing on climate change, and then we'll have our guests come on. It's been proven over and over. Science, NASA, the smartest, most intense studies have proven that it's happening. It's happening. And they have also said that at this certain temperature, which we are getting to by 2030, the species that keep us alive will die out, possibly die. And so then we will die out.
Trump.
It's good to know we have 4 years, though.
Trump really
it goes bad.
He reversed a lot of things and pulled us out of the Paris Accord. So the point is we need to get the leadership to really rally behind it and really make the changes. And if they're not going to do it, then we need to, we need to protest. We need to vote. We need to protest.
Vote. That's how you can protest. Vote.
I think the one thing all this division has shown us is that everybody now is very aware that they have to vote.
I keep saying this, and this is true for everything, even not scientific things, but for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Mm-hmm. That's just science.
Did you make that up? That's cool.
That's mine.
Yeah, that's
I just
nice.
invented that.
Wow.
Thank you. I might be famous
we need
for that.
We need to mark this down.
Wow,
put it in the books.
We should trademark it and teach it to kids in school. So
the Bradley theorem.
You release chemicals into the air. You release garbage and chemicals into the water. Obviously, there's going to be a reaction to that. Turns out, if you put some of those chemicals on your skin, it'll burn you.
Yep.
It might kill you. Things might get dumped out of a train in a small town and people might start dropping lungs left and right. Yep. Ask Aaron Brockovich. I'm just saying it shouldn't be political. It should just be, and if you're coming from a Christian perspective, people saying, we had an ice age and the earth protects itself. No, you were given this planet and you're expected to curate it and tend to it and protect it.
we never had what happened in in 1900. We never had the industrial age changed everything. I mean, it just changed. It really changed everything. And people go, what about volcanoes? Well, yeah, if all the volcanoes blow up at once, we're going to have a nuclear winter and that'll fix it.
If you're stressed out thinking about dying in 4 years after the bees die, you need to try Next Evo Naturals. This episode brought to you also by Next Evo. Product I love. I love the variety. I love the quality. I love the effect. I have said this before, but I love the gummies. I put the purple ones in my nightstand. I have the red ones downstairs. I feel like I'm getting a dessert.
Yeah, it does. The gummies are. It does feel like that. Oh, this is my snack, and then.
So the great thing about this product is that they've tested it and they show proof that it works, because so many CBD companies, this is premium CBD, by the way. So many CBD companies, usually their labels are way off. And some products actually contain like 60% or less of what they actually claim. So
Really?
Really.
Is that legal, or is it because we're still at the beginning of CBD and THC
Probably,
and stuff
yeah.
that they can't let that? That's interesting.
Next Evo
this company's
Naturals,
like, yo, what's in it is what's in it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
theirs
that's
is
why it
tested.
works.
You can go and see that. I love, you get this, it's extremely affordable too, which is great. And it gets delivered to you. These are all bonuses, people. But I love this. You get this huge bag filled with these little tiny like salt packets.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep those by the smoothie stuff. And so you can travel with them. They're very light.
Yep.
They're little. I tear them off. I put them in their smoothies. You never know. You're a nicer person. That's all I'm saying. It's not a scientific
Is that what she's
claim.
been doing? I'm in the gummies I take, but she's like, so every month. So you're basically dosing me all the time with CBD. Thank you. I do feel nicer. I thought it was me. I thought I got better. She's like, no,
I'm making progress. Yeah. Keep believing that.
They actually
Yeah. You're better now. Drink a smoothie.
They did their research. They will demonstrate that to you on their website by doing 4 clinical trials. There's no other CBD brand that comes close to doing that. I like that they back up their product like that.
Yep.
They have the stress CBD complex gummies. Those are the ones I was talking about, and the triple action CBD sleep. It's just, you just notice within, for me, like 10 to 15 minutes.
And you have had in the past,
things are calmer and I'm able to sleep.
You've had so much trouble sleeping, and since you started doing this, it has gotten a lot better.
The great thing about this sleep one is that it has fast acting, fast absorbing CBD, but it also has controlled release melatonin. So that helps me fall asleep, helps me stay asleep, which is a big thing for me.
Did you say melatonin?
I probably did. But I'm talking so fast. And I also had purple drink yesterday.
Purple drink. Oh.
And today I had so much purple drink, my teeth hurt last night.
I've got brain cells just still hanging on. They're just hanging over a pile of dead brains. They're like, oh.
So I want to say something about that, but hold on. So leave your summer stress behind, especially after you listen to this podcast. Aunt Kathy will be a nice upgrade your CBD. Go to nextevo.com/Titus. Get 20% off your first order of $40 or more. That's 20% off $40 or more at nextevo.com/Titus. Next Evo.
All right, now that and by the way, get the Evo. That stuff is so good. Next Evo. That's right. I would like to introduce. We're gonna have to say goodbye to Highlander for a minute. Wait. But I'd like to bring in. You guys can switch to probably one of my favorite people on the planet. I would say one of the nicest people on the planet, and a person that will show you a picture at the drop of a hat while you're
of people you don't know.
And she'll set up Zoom calls with people you don't know, so you get to know new people.
The contrast. I feel terrible.
She is the sweetest person. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for the amazing Aunt Kathy, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! All right, now she's got to get her stuff together, and she's getting okay. All right,
she's coming. He's so impatient, isn't he?
Yes. Yes. Well, she's so.
Oh, look at her cup. Hey, it says Alpha Chick on it. Rachel Bradley. You can watch that now on Amazon. She made me this cup.
That was a nice. Look at the promo. Just. Aunt Kathy. So you guys don't know that Kathy kind of saved my life when I was 17. I was 17. I was 17. Me and my dad were going at it constantly, fist fighting. It was bad. And I called her and I just said, I think we're going to kill each other. One of us is going to die. And she said,
Were you in high school still?
no, I was out. I was working. It was,
So you had
it
to
was the
be
summer, right? It
18
was
or
the
19,
summer.
right?
No, I got out. I graduated at 17. October. No, I graduated at 17. So yes, I
So
would
what'd
say
she say?
it wasn't, it was before I turned 18. And she said, did I ask you to move in with you or did you offer it?
I think I suggested I have a room.
Get into your mic.
Yeah, you got talking to the mic. She goes, I have a room. You can rent it from me. And I had to pay
You
rent.
suggested it?
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
Did he pay rent?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't clean anything. I think I still owe her for a phone bill.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, hold on, let me get out my ledger.
Yeah.
Flip.
Especially when it comes to how good she is with money. Yes. So I lived there for a while, and because of Kathy, I got started in comedy because I would listen to the Quake in the morning. It was a radio station, and they had comics on all the time, and I listened, and I always wanted to be a comic. And then I started. I remember the first time I drove to open mic was from your house. Oh, my dad.
Really?
When I the punchline.
Where'd you a punchline?
When I moved and I practiced in her garage.
And in the shower.
Oh,
I was doing my.
you could hear him in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'd come home from work and he would be in one shower practicing. My daughter would be in the other shower singing because she was in the choir.
Wow.
But I would, so that first set, and I always tell comics this: if you want to do comedy, do that set 1,000 times before you get on stage. And I
Right.
did. And then I stood in the garage at night. I had this little boom box, and I would
With a microphone?
it had an antenna and a microphone, the antenna with it, and then a microphone stood up.
Wow.
And it was a boom box, and I'd stand and I was like, blah, 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 and I'm by myself in the garage, and I probably did it. I must have drove you nuts. It was nonstop.
Did he smell bad?
Yes, I was 7.
What was the state of your house when he was living?
Oh,
in it?
you go ahead.
Well, his room, I could close the door. But when I left the kitchen sink clean, like you like it,
Right.
leaving it clean.
Yep.
And then you come home from work and there's the sink full of dishes.
Oh,
So
aha.
he can tell you about what I did about that one night.
What'd you do?
Well, and actually ended up in the episode, in one of the Titus episodes. She actually a version of it. She actually put all the dishes on my bed. I came home,
Wow.
and I was like, and that's when I knew she was my dad's sister.
I was gonna say, so if you guys don't have the connection, this is Ken Titus's baby sister, only sister, but the youngest of all the children, and there were 4, right? And aren't you 12 years younger than Kenny
Yes.
would be?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's the baby, and she had 3 older brothers that protected her.
And she's actually she's the last of the kids. Yeah,
Well, that's depressing.
we've lost all my uncles.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a tough one.
That's
I miss 'em.
depressing.
It's a tough. Well, I just wanted to bring it up, man. She hangs on. She's a nurse.
She retired early and is
Uh-huh.
living a life.
the
of-
Lamborghini life.
Yes.
We call it, as I said in my special.
She travels nonstop.
She's the only person I know that will buy a used car or used anything and sell it for more.
She makes money on everything.
She's the smartest person I
She
know.
can
financially.
mix a drink like nobody's business. So, Aunt Kathy, you guys have been hearing about the purple drink forever. We have people that actually make it, and some
Did we-
people that tried to bring it to the show in Denver.
Did we give them the recipe?
We did back then,
Okay.
and we should again.
Yeah, Kathy,
Yeah.
can you give our listeners and our watchers the purple drink recipe?
Sure.
Okay.
But you make it according to the party. But I mean,
So she knew there was a bunch of.
She used the whole
Drinkers.
extra large bottle of Malibu yesterday.
All right,
and that
go ahead.
thing.
How do you make? So
Yeah.
no, you don't make it according to the party. So you can make. You're saying you make it stronger or weaker.
So if you
Yeah.
were just going to make a pitcher,
okay, I would take a bottle of like cranberry pomegranate or cranberry blueberry, or sometimes I mix them both.
Okay.
Or cranberry raspberry
okay?
What?
and
Juice.
juice.
Okay.
And I put like maybe 3 parts of that to, like, if you do 3 shot or full size glasses of that, then you would do either 1.5 or 2 glasses of the Malibu rum in its coconut flavor. And then you do 1 small can of pineapple juice. And then you mix that and taste it before you add the sparkling wine. And you can
Yeah, the
It's
tasting.
the rose. It's rosé, right?
Rosé or
Okay.
spumante. Or,
Then so you get the juice right, and then you do the sparkling wine we put in there, and then she made all of us in the kitchen taste it. Everybody needs to taste it. So
That's my favorite part.
People are already buzzing by that, like, "Hey, this is awesome."
That's my favorite part is that she'll always go, "Here, you need to try this," and I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
There was a line at the so we make 3 gallons, right,
yeah.
for the party, and there was a line for it. And like I told you earlier, that when people said, "Hey, it's getting low," people turned and went inside
Because the problem is it tastes like this tropical fruit
it's
drink.
deadly. It doesn't taste like
doesn't-
alcohol at all.
yeah.
It's deadly.
And I was telling her yesterday that after the Prince parties, I every year get calls or texts the next day. What was in that purple drink? It was so good, but oh my God. You don't
Yeah.
know. And it also gives you kind of a smooth beachy buzz feeling. It's not like drinking
Yeah.
tequila or something.
But you'll find yourself when we got married. We rented that house the week we were getting married, and I'll never forget Mom, man. I never forget Mom. It was all purple drink, and I was
My
watching her
mom.
out the window. And I was inside the house, and you guys were all in the hot tub because it was purple drink, hot tub,
Yes,
constant.
which I'm sure there's no problem with dehydrating and being hot in the sun. Yeah.
And Mom kind of stumbles, and she stops. She puts her hand on the rail.
Collects herself.
She collects herself, and then just. But
And
she
walks
was like
along the
this,
rail.
and then she
We
held
saw
on.
my stepfather Randy one year because I get those giant Starbucks cups, and every year at the beach you fill those cups. We'll be down there with this giant full one, and here she'll come up the sand.
Yep.
And she's got a beach bag, and she'll open it and go, "I brought another pitcher of purple drinks.
Yep.
Let me refill." So my stepfather, the Colonel, he one year got so wasted. Remember, my mom was like, "Y'all need to watch him. He's gonna drown." And she left, and he was sitting at where the water came up, and the waves were like gently tapping him, and he was falling over,
Yep.
sitting back up. So it's deadly, but it's awesome.
Try
You
the
guys
purple
should
drink.
try it.
We should put-
If you need to detoxify your body because you've had so much purple drink, you need to do
wow,
what I did
what a flow!
and have some AG1, baby. AG1. I've been doing this for a while. I'm
Yep.
pretty darn good. It's a product that I use every day. AG1 has made such a big difference in my health and my life. I took it when I was traveling. I brought it to your house. Do you remember the green powder?
Okay.
Did you try it?
I
You
don't-
tasted it, I thought,
Okay,
because
yeah,
you
that's
said,
right.
"Let
because
me
it doesn't taste
it."
because it looks like
Yeah.
it should taste like
Yeah.
grass seed, but
I
it
was
doesn't
stirring
taste.
it in we were doing
That's awesome.
shows and we stayed at her house, and I would come in the morning with my AG1 and stir it up. I don't know why, but when I have had some drinks for some reason the next day, I always think, "Oh, I gotta get that."
It does make
And
a
it-
difference.
Makes a difference.
Yep.
I started taking it for gut health because I was having digestive problems. But now I take it for an overall feeling of well-being and healthiness. It's like the easiest thing you can do for your body by having one scoop in some water, shake it up every day.
But also, when you see what's in it, it's totally worth it. You're like, oh, okay, this is not it's a really, I mean, the dude people, at the end of the day, the guy that invented it didn't invent a product to become a millionaire. He invented a product because he had so much trouble with his digestive system that he kept working until it finally made a difference. So it's actually tested, and I love this stuff.
It would replace your multivitamin, your probiotic, and any other supplements that you're doing just by all in this one thing. Go online because you can read what's in it, and it's got over 75 whole food sourced ingredients, vitamins, minerals, all stuff that your body needs, and you don't have to take all that other crap or remember to do it every day, and it tastes good. It's got a tropical fruity taste. I
How do
don't
we
know
get
how
it?
they did it, but it's magic. So what?
How do we get it?
Well, if you want to try AG1, which you should, and you should also get the D dropper, I put that in as well. Take ownership of your health. Try AG1. You get a free 1-year supply of that vitamin D that I'm talking about, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/Titus. That's drinkag1.com/Titus. Check it out.
So, Kat, so when I live, honestly, you without you, and I've told you this before, but without you, I would never be here as a comic. I wouldn't. Dad and I would have gone. Just wouldn't have worked. You were the perfect transition to get this dumb teenager to finally do something with his life. So thank you.
Did you
welcome.
like him?
I did. I loved him, and I loved my brother, and my brother was mad at me for about
Took
5
my car
years.
away.
Years
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was
for
mad
letting him move
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was mad at
because
me.
he wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
He wanted me dead.
But he couldn't stay mad at me.
So you were housing a refugee that he created,
Yeah.
and he didn't like that.
He
No.
played like he was mad at me. He did not talk to me for 5 years, but he still wanted to bring that up, and I kind of wouldn't let him. But he could not be without me for 5 years.
So you were still together, but he would rub it in after a few beers.
But
He'd
also,
say things about
It
it.
took a while for him to come around, though.
There was
Okay.
because
He was mad.
because 5 years into it, I've toured with Kenny Loggins. At one point, he couldn't deny that I did the right thing. You know, he always said get a real job, but at one point, I think he got that without her, we would have killed each other. We were just, it was just that. It was that bad.
You
all the
were
time.
closest to Kenny, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
my dad.
the stories about his prowess with the ladies.
Oh gosh.
I'm just curious how true those are that Titus tells on stage.
Oh yes, that's really true.
We had a discussion. We talked about it. That I don't want to do, and I have it sitting on my nightstand. I have it's not 23andMe. It's the other one.
Oh,
We did.
Ancestry.
Ancestry.com. And I'm afraid to do it because I know in the Central Valley of California, there are some people that are brothers and sisters of mine.
So exciting. Do you think this is a possibility?
I would not be surprised.
Oh my
Dad was an amazing. How like it's weird because one time I asked him, and I'm doing a bit about Grandma in the new show. You've seen it. It's very funny about your reaction to the bit because I asked if I could do it. But Dad, I remember Dad. I was asking about my mom because my mom was so crazy. I said to him, I go, did my mom make you bitter towards women? Because he would be super charming, and then he would just flip.
Yeah.
You know, and I saw him do it with Nancy. I saw him do it with all those women. And I go, did my mom make you bitter towards women? He goes, no, my mom. And I always wondered what that meant.
Yeah.
Like she was hard. I guess he said she was hard on Grandpa because Grandpa Titus was crazy like my dad, right?
Well, you know, he was Grandpa Titus was sweet. He was funny. He was the life of the party.
That's so surprising.
He didn't have the edge that your dad had. You know,
Right.
I've never seen him hurt anybody. And I think that's why and he was so creative. I mean, he built a boat. He built a cabin. He built a cabin up at Clear Lake when enrolled the whole family. Bought a lot. I remember going there when I was 4 years old, and there was just like this little building with a curtain, and I'm like, what's this? And it was an outhouse. That was all that was on there. And
Wow.
they built a beautiful cabin with a garage door on both sides of the garage, and you could pull in and launch the boat and pull back out. And
Grandpa Titus. So my dad told me this story, and this is why I was raised the way I was. Dad said that one time Grandpa Titus got all his friends like, hey guys, you want to go? We're gonna go water skiing. And they were like, hell yeah. And they all went up to go water skiing. And before they could water ski, they had to build a building.
Oh my gosh.
well, one of my cousins, he said actually at my mom's memorial service or celebration of life, he said, yeah, I remember the Clear Lake. And he goes, Aaron, he invited us all up there and we were going to do a little work, and he was going to take us skiing, and we were going to have some beer. And he said, man, we busted our ass
all Sunday
weekend long. And then we go for a boat ride, and we each get one beer.
Oh my gosh.
This is why Dad was like that. So I grew up the same way. We would go up to Bob Ramus's cabin, and it'd be like, we're going skiing. Yay. We get up Saturday, and we had to re-roof the house, or we had to build a new addition to it. We had to replace the dock. And then we'd burn Saturday, and then we'd ski a little bit on Sunday, maybe. And then he'd actually take us in the afternoon.
Yeah, but look what a hard worker you are now. So did you see, because I know you and Kenny were closest and you lived close together. So would you see him married to someone but then see him with someone else?
I would see him, maybe not married, but when he was going with somebody, he could very well be with somebody else. Not necessarily married, because I remember,
Yeah, dad did have a sense of a morality. There was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
definite.
Interesting.
If he married
Interesting.
you, yeah.
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 But you would see when he was dating, there
Oh.
would be several women.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and the weird thing is we go to Parents Without Partners, those like volleyball and stuff.
Yeah.
And he would have slept with 7 or 8 women there. And it was just odd. It was just
He had a charisma that was irresistible.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've seen the women that he was with at some of the events you've put together that they'll talk about him and they're like, Kenny, he drank too much. And he was an asshole when he drank but then he'd look at me and I'm always like, what
We'd
just
go
happened?
dancing.
Every woman. Then we'd dance. Oh, and boy, did we have a time on the boat. And I'm like, what? It's still happening. He's dead and it's still happening. It's the weirdest thing.
At his services, I think everyone that he dated and was married to came to his services and
They
came to
s-
my house afterwards.
They sat together. It was the weirdest thing.
and they told stories. They told Ken Titus stories.
Yeah.
They just it's just like it's crazy. I've never seen that.
That's
ever.
amazing.
It's just
Aunt Kathy is
bizarre.
an awesome cook. It's one of my favorite things about her and her bar prowess. You can be an awesome cook too if you try HelloFresh. I don't know. I'm segueing like a mofo. Thank
What
you,
did we just
Highlander.
have? What did you just cook a couple days ago?
Oh,
What did we just have?
that was,
That was awesome.
really good. It was a creamy Italian meatball
the
pasta.
the pasta was incredible. The meatballs were awesome with the crispy. So you baked them, right?
So that's what I'm talking about. So HelloFresh is a meal you cook your meal delivery service. It comes to your house.
They send it to you.
Everything is pre-portioned in its own bag with a QR code, but they also give you recipe cards if you're old school. And this time you can choose your recipes. You can go look at each week out of a ton of different recipes, all different genres. And I forgot to choose my own. So they send, here, you're going to like this. And so we got these meatballs. I have never baked meatballs before. Have you?
We do.
Oh, see, I put mine in a pan and it said bake. So I made the meatballs. It was super fast and because they put everything together for you. And you bake them 18 to 20 minutes, which gave them a crust on the bottom. Man.
Yeah, even the Highlander likes it too. Highlander cooks, right?
Right.
Hooray! So anyway, that I would recommend sometimes just letting them choose what you get. This is another company where you don't have to keep driving back and forth to the grocery store. So you're helping the environment and you don't have to leave your house. It comes to your front doorstep. So that's my favorite thing.
Here's how good it is. So we got our order and it showed up and we put the bags in the refrigerator and with the stuff and each bag has a different meal. And she goes, what do you want? I'm at the shop working here. And she goes, I'm going to make HelloFresh. What do you want? And she lists
Use your words.
I'm sorry. I'm still
I'm
hungover. She asked, what do you want?
Yep.
And she read me what was on the bags. And every time we have something, it's always so good. I don't even pick anymore. Every time it's so good.
I'm not usually a pasta person or baked meatballs, but man, it was stupid good. And it was supposed to be 4 meals, like Highlander said, but we ate almost all of it that night and then the tiny little bit the next morning. So
how do we get it?
They also have fast and fresh. So you can go and choose categories. Fast and fresh is 15 minutes or less. It's also 25% cheaper than ordering takeout, which I also love. I do 2 meals a week now for 4 people. So we have leftovers. You choose that as well. So go to their website and just look. And you can go look at the recipes for this week to get an idea. I promise you're going to want to buy it after you read the recipes. You can go to HelloFresh.com/Titus50 and use promo code Titus50. You get 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Titus50. Use promo code Titus50 for 50% off plus free shipping. America's #1 meal kit.
So I have a couple questions about Grandma and Grandpa Titus.
Uh-oh.
So how was Dad raised? Because what Dad said there was a real dichotomy, and I don't understand. He said Grandma was raised in the Depression, and she came. Did she come from England? No, she was already here.
No, she was born in Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, right?
And the youngest 3 of the, I think there was 8 of them, I believe.
But she was
were born in Niagara Falls.
She was a very serious woman.
She was. And I think it came out much later, but her dad had passed away and her mom had come to California and she couldn't afford to feed them. She had her and 2 of her younger brothers.
Right.
And so she had them go live with older siblings. And she moved in with her oldest sister, Alma. And Alma had 4 or 5 children already. And it was the Depression.
Yeah.
Right.
And so Alma said, you know, you're 16, you're going to have to work part-time. I can't afford to feed another mouth, you know? And so I think my mom held a lot of resentment about that, you know, both maybe towards her sister and maybe towards her mom. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
But I think that came out later in life.
Right.
And I was just shocked because we got together for quite a few family gatherings and stuff, and I never saw that.
Yeah.
But I did see a side of my mom that was, I don't know, let's just
Dark?
say,
Is where dad's darkness came from, maybe?
I believe so, because I just feel like my dad was the type that would say, you can do anything you put your heart and mind to. Go for it.
He hung out with Slim Pickens.
And my mom would say, you can't do that. You'll kill yourself. Or you can't do that. It's
How did-
impossible.
How did those two people get together and stay together then?
It's like when
How does that happen?
When I did a conversation at my mom's celebration of life, you know, it takes sometimes, I mean, opposites really do attract, and it takes the yin and the yang, and they work together because the 2 of them together, I mean, they raised 4 children.
Right.
And my dad was the main breadwinner. My mom hardly ever worked. I mean, she worked a little bit later on, but anyway.
So they really loved each other, even though they were so like radically different people.
Well, how do you go from Hayward, California, to drive all the way up to Clear Lake with 4 children in a red and white Bel Air station wagon?
Yep.
Every weekend, working full time. My dad was 42 years old when they bought that cabin.
Wow.
They bought the property and built a cabin.
Wow.
Who does that with his family and friends? I mean, who does that? I mean, do you know how much energy that takes?
Yeah, but I think you know,
It
Grandpa.
takes a partnership in a way.
Yeah, you
know?
definitely got to
She
organize
had
it,
to plan the meals,
right?
and,
Make it work.
you know.
Stay on the mic.
Oh,
You know that you were raised like that because we always try to be your parents. Like I had to get a boat because Dad had a boat. Well, now I find that Dad did exactly what Grandpa did. We went almost every week to Bob's every 2.5 hour drive every single time. Clear Lake's a lot farther though. You guys would drive from Hayward to Clear Lake? Jeez. Yeah.
yes, and the cabin was built right directly across from Mount Canocti.
Yeah. Well, you guys are also they wasn't small children. They were giant boys.
Oh yeah,
They were really big.
Big
Yeah.
people.
But you're how tall? 6
I'm
feet?
5'10".
Oh, you are 5'10". I always think you're taller than that.
I'm the shortest in my family.
How tall? I mean, they were like 6'4", 6'5",
Yes.
6'3". Like they were big.
Yeah, I'm a shrimp compared to them. Yeah, I'm smaller.
They were smart though, because there was a small town on the way home, and they had just a dynamite ice cream shop. So if we were all good on the way back, we got an ice cream.
It's a good way to get good briberies. Always a good way to
Yeah,
get
right.
with Dad though, so growing up with Dad, when did Dad? So this about Dad and my mom, because I've heard so many weird stories from other parts of the family, Aunt Sandy and stuff. How did that happen? Because Dad told me that I was conceived. And I did a bit about it. I was conceived after they were already broken up, and he went to see her because she has another boyfriend and slept with her, and he was already done, and then. They were separated because she came home from the military, and she had moved all this stuff out. She was dating this guy that reporter guy, and then they had sex. He showed up. They had sex, and then he left. And next thing he knows, in fact, he didn't even think that I was his kid till Grandma came home with a picture at the hospital. It's not my kid. And then Grandma went home, got a baby picture of him, and showed it to him, and he went, "Oh, okay, that's my kid."
I like that he tried to deny you first, though.
Yeah.
Nope, can't be mine.
Well, Mom was a little nutty. I mean, was Mom nutty all the time? Because you guys knew her before she was she always nutty?
No, she was not. Your mom was a beauty queen. I mean, she was absolutely beautiful. She was brilliant. She played the piano beautifully. She sang. She used to sew me Barbie doll clothes.
Wow.
And she would, I can remember one
Wow.
little outfit. It was like a little pencil dress. And it was like in the animal print, like, you know.
She, like Barbie, she like sewed you Barbie outfits.
Yes.
Wow.
And it had like a little fake fur collar, a little jacket with a fur collar to go with it that matched it. And it was just like, gosh, it was incredible. She was so talented.
So she was so talented and she was so smart and she was on top of it. She did Dad's homework for years,
Yeah.
from whatever. And then, so what happened? Like, I don't know. Like, I still don't know where the break was.
You know, I kind of think that somebody that's extremely intelligent, sometimes people just have a psychotic breakdown.
Or they feel outside of the world because they get it before everybody else does.
I'm not sure, but something.
But when did it happen, though?
Snapped with your mom. You know, I'm not sure because I was just, you know, like I said, I'm like 12 years younger than your.
Oh, you were a
brother,
little kid.
so
Yeah.
I wasn't, you know, aware of that until your dad came to move in with us, and then I was aware of it, and I can remember him being just really kind of sad about it and trying to somewhat be as cautious as your dad could be to talk to me about it and stuff. And he said something about her just shaving her hair off, and
She did?
cutting her hair.
All this stuff on the show was real.
I don't.
And
Faye Dunaway
Yeah.
refused to do that scene. She wouldn't do it, even with a bald cap wig.
anyway, I was just shocked to hear all of this. I really was. And so it was kind of funny. Your dad and I even got closer at that time because when he would come home, and sometimes we would just sit there and it would just be him and I, and he would tell me things. And sometimes they were just like crazy things, but he would tell me things about, you know, hey, when I get ready to start dating, look out for any kind of a guy that does this or that, you know, and you know, be careful. And he'd tell me things, and then he'd tell me things that, you know, just funny things.
He was a funny man.
Yeah.
So basically, he got with his dream girl. She was a beauty queen. She was brilliant. And then whatever happened, she just, like, as they were together, because he told me stories that I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I just find it weird that it just happened. I guess and then she was in, they committed her, right?
Yeah. She was in. That's when he came home and was living with us, and it was just like he was heartbroken. Really,
Yeah.
Just like I don't think he really knew how do you handle something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yeah.
she was a good cook, she was a good mom, she was, you know, good seamstress. She was an executive secretary. She was like. She had so many things going for her. How do you just lose it? You know.
Well, then she would go back and forth. When I lived with her here in LA, it was weird because and I tell the story on stage now. She got that job at I forget the name of it, Hollister Steer. It was a pharmaceutical company. She got fired because she'd read the books, the pharmaceutical books, and was giving doctors advice on. As she was the secretary, she's like, "Yeah, use this and use that." She was just giving them because she'd read. She
Wow.
remember, and they were like,
Yeah.
"You can't do. What are you doing?" So.
Yeah.
And then she would go, and then she'd be fine for a minute, and then she would just spin out. It was always just, you know what it was as a kid? I remember feeling like not safe. Like I remember feeling like at any moment this could go sideways.
Yeah.
You
You just
know?
wonder what happens to somebody like that. And I don't know, maybe it's a chemical imbalance. I'm not sure, but you know, just she was.
Did you ever see her after that?
You know, not really. I kind of.
Sometimes Mom would just show up randomly though. Like with Uncle Eddie,
Yeah.
she dropped cursing on Uncle Eddie. She would just show up randomly. And everybody was nice. Everybody was, you know, the family was like, no one was like, I wouldn't be. That's why I am with crazy people. I'm not. I'm like, get
you're
out.
not.
She's like, Dad was like that too. But you guys, Eddie'd be like, well, come on in. And then,
Yeah.
and Mom goes, can I leave my daughter here? And left Kirsten, and then disappeared for 2 weeks.
Her daughter with a different guy that they didn't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And she just disappeared for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. You can't explain what makes somebody snap. you
Right.
know.
How long have you and Uncle Dennis been married now?
gosh, 38 years.
All right. So I'm going to wrap up with this. I'm going to wrap up with some positivity. How do you make a marriage work for 38 years? Because I've only been exposed to Dad. I watched him, and some of my behavior ended up on me, and she's experienced it, but I've always found a way out of it because I've just found like this amazing woman. How do you make it work, and how come Dad couldn't? Do you think it was from his childhood? Because he did say it was my mom made me bitter towards women.
But she had the same parents.
I know, but but she was the baby. You say it in your show. She was the baby. Dad was Dad first? Dad was oldest. Dad was the oldest.
Separate.
So they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I think the first kid gets just, they don't know what they're doing. And then she shows up. And
they'd practice. They knew what didn't
exactly.
work.
Yeah.
And didn't care as much anymore. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Let's make an angel.
Yeah.
So how are you and Dennis stay together? What do you give us some tips on how to keep marriage together forever?
I think that, first of all, we're friends.
Yeah, you are.
And I think that we both honor and respect one another. And we, even when we have our differences about things, sometimes we joke about it, sometimes I know, but the most important thing is the respect. I mean, we always keep tabs with each other. We always let each other know what we're doing. We don't just disappear and not, check in with one another.
Well, there's Dad. This is a problem with Dad.
Yeah.
Dad would just disappear. He met somebody new. And
you guys laugh together a lot too.
We do. We laugh a lot together. We do. I enjoy being with him. He's my best friend.
Yeah.
And he's my confidant. And I guess that's having trust with one another.
But you're both very active in your relationship. I think that's it too. You're very active for your relationship. Whether he's in the backyard plants and talking to you about planting, or you're planning stuff. You guys put so much. How many times you gone to Washington this year already?
Oh gosh.
They travel all the time. It's because of her. If he didn't have her, he would be in a recliner watching the news or working with his plants. She is always wheeling and dealing a new idea.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be able to walk without her. I mean, he's had some health stuff, and she, without Kathy, man, he would just. I know Dennis. Dennis would have just.
This is Kat. I'll call and she'll say, "Oh, I was just practicing with my oils, my essential oils, doing reflexology. So I'm giving Uncle Dennis a foot rub with my essential oils." And I'm like, "See, it's like they're so cute together."
But also, he builds, like, you have a garden, like you literally the only people in Livermore I know that would survive the apocalypse. You've got everything set up to food and everything. And as I say, you're the only conservative hippie I've ever met in my life. You've seen the crystals and the growing food, and it's
everything. Yep.
All right, so
Christianity.
Christianity. By the way, that's it, people. So stay involved in your relationship. It will. I've seen Kathy and Dennis. They just care for each other. Like, even when you were talking about, he needs to go fishing. That's why you went to swimming. He needs to go fishing.
That's true.
And you said that, and I was like, okay.
Right.
Like I need to go drag racing.
Right. I love it when you do it.
See? You can appreciate each other's differences and actually want the other one to enjoy it and go learn to enjoy it with them. I love the water. I love boating. So sure, sometimes I'll go, but sometimes he needs to go with the guys, and
that's something a lot of people don't do. I see people be so insecure in relationships and not encourage friendships outside of the relationship. Yeah. But he's better and more interesting and more complete if he has guy time. Guys talk to each other a different way, just like women.
Yeah, when you guys you go to concert with your girlfriend, you come back there. You come back, You're better,
happier, more complete.
Right.
You give each other a new appreciation.
And have some space.
Have a little space and you
come back together.
Girl time or some guy time, and
But also, you need to let the other person in your relationship go away, because they'll find listen. If you're a decent person, you found a decent person. So you get out in the world and you realize, wow, there's a lot of dipshits out here.
I had that. I mean, you do. I had, going to see family last week. I had a renewed appreciation for our relationship, our home, the life that we have. I came home just like, I was just so happy to be home, because we do have a lot of laughter and stupidity.
Your relationship has given your and Dennis has given us a little
Yeah.
bar. So
Yeah.
thank
and
you.
they're 13 years apart too, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right,
I
guys.
wake up every morning and I thank God for him and I'm grateful for him. And I think that every night before I go to bed too. And it's just like, I'm grateful for our health and
Your
just
house
our
is
house,
amazing,
our
immaculate,
many
perfect.
blessings,
Yeah.
our love for one another. And I'm blessed.
Yeah. And you notice it. That's another part. Gratitude.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Ken's wife.
He
Ken's
said, and
wife.
you're both straight.
You're
if
both
you guys
straight
couldn't
because
hear him.
yeah,
Because not everyone was straight
not
in
every-
his
well, they-
relationship.
no, they actually were. They
I didn't think about you're sitting there just like, oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
Just
That's great.
Just getting just
Happy
grinding
for
it.
ya.
Yeah.
Glad you're all happy.
Well, Kathy,
Hold on,
so-
Ken. We got to talk more about how great all of our relationships are.
By the way, I can talk about my first one, and you'll be like, "Okay, I feel better." Yeah. Supposedly, she actually tore the kids. Kids came over yesterday. She tore the kids up.
For coming.
for coming to our house yesterday.
But we
the
have to
kids are
wrap
like-
this up because Aunt Kathy and I are going to go float on tubes on the pool with peach margaritas.
Yeah. So I want to say, so before we wrap this up, thank you for. Without you, I don't think I'd be. I know I wouldn't be where I am. I would. Maybe I'd have done comedy later. But it was a burning desire that because you let me live with you, it happened. So everybody, you owe Aunt Kathy, if you like what I do, and thank you for giving me an example of how to be and how to live.
Well, I thank you and I love you. And I'm so glad that we've remained tight. And it means the world to me,
Yeah. We just don't talk politics.
I sometimes see your dad. Oh my gosh.
Oh God. I'm sorry. Sorry. All right, guys. So another hand for Aunt Kathy. Go ahead. We'll wrap it up with Ken Highland. We got one more thing to do with Ken.
I wanted to tell just one little thing.
Sure.
When you were driving the dune buggy and Grandma Jean and I were in the dune buggy and we were going through the
This is the wedding. This is the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were just having such a good time. And I could see him going around the corners. He's just trying to scare us. And we're laughing.
Yeah. They were
cracking
screaming.
up.
They were like,
We were
wee.
just, this is so much fun. And I could see his dad just looking in that rearview mirror just to see if he's got a rise out of us.
Yes.
He's doing it, And every once in a while we're like, woo, and he was just loving it.
I was raised by a rogue, so I
think
have
I
it in
just
me.
said this not too long ago, but Grandma Jean came back. Do you remember? And she was like, and she said, that was the most fun I've had in my entire life. And I was like, oh, well, thanks a lot. For that. I'm taking you on trips and everything, lady.
It was because
but
of Dune Buggy. It was like riding in a toy. That's why.
It was so much fun.
All right, Kat, let me let Ken
We
sit down.
love
I think
you.
Ken Highland, love you so much.
Come back, Highlander.
All right, Highlander. We'll wrap this up. And now, everybody, it's time for Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts. Almost.
Pretty good.
Better.
Pretty good.
It's better.
All right.
And for being hungover.
I'm learning the song.
Fun fact: climate change is real. No.
You stayed on top of it.
In the Sahara Desert, it can reach temperatures of 136 degrees.
Wow.
So the average temperature.
It's like Arizona, is what you're saying.
I was going to say, when Mom lived in Kuwait, she would come home for the summers to visit us, and it would be California summer. It would be, up to,
85.
but like sometimes up to 95,
Right.
100. And she would wear a turtleneck and a sweater over it because in Kuwait, where she had just left, it would be like 135 degrees.
Yes.
So her body was acclimated.
What I find it crazy, I guess if you acclimate to it, but there's nothing there. I mean,
I don't feel like that fact was fun.
that wasn't a fun fact.
It wasn't fun.
It was
Okay.
a scary fact. Let's do another one.
Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
Yay!
No, how about yes, Ryan Gosling was almost in the Backstreet Boys.
What?
Yes.
Wasn't
He can sing?
Wasn't Ryan Gosling originally one of the? Wasn't he a Mickey Mouse?
That's why he was almost in the Backstreet Boys.
He was
Oh.
in him.
He was in the Mickey
and
Mouse Club.
Britney Spears dated and Justin Timberlake. Yeah, they're all like from the Mickey Mouse
Christina
Club.
Aguilera.
Christina, yeah.
Ariana Grande
Wow.
was, I think.
Boy, did they all go hard the other way. They're the Mickey Mouse Club. Now they're like sex tapes and craziness.
Awesome. That was
That
fun.
tends to
I
happen.
That was a
liked
fun- that was a fun
bravo, bravo.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For myself, the lovely Bomb Show on the Hind there, and another hand for Aunt
Aunt
Kathy.
Kathy.
Yay! Keep watching, keep playing. But later.
Peace out.
There could be only one.